Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to be looking at Psalm 52
All right.
from the New Living Translation.
Okay.
You can find this on the YouVersion app if you want to follow along with us.
Yeah.
It's a pretty short psalm, but it's packed with a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And it kind of starts right off the bat, giving us some context.
Right away. Yeah, and it says it's a psalm of David regarding the time that Doeg the Edomite went and told Saul that David had gone to see Ahimelech.
Right, yeah. So like there's already like this element of betrayal and
Yeah, right off the bat.
like tension,
And we see that reflected throughout the rest of the psalm as well.
Right, and it's also labeled a maskil, which is interesting.
Maskil?
Yeah, so scholars aren't totally sure what that means, but it seems to indicate that it was like a teaching song.
Okay.
That maybe had like a musical element to it.
Interesting, okay.
But yeah, so basically we're going to be looking at the psalm and kind of unpacking it and see what we can learn from it.
Yeah, that's good.
So like I said, it starts out pretty strong.
It does.
It says, "Why do you boast about your crimes?"
Yeah, who are they talking to here?
Right. It seems like it's addressed to this like powerful, wicked person.
Okay.
But
like a bad guy.
Yeah, like a bad guy.
Okay.
And it says, "Don't you realize that God's justice continues forever?"
Ooh, that's a good point.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like setting up this contrast between
Like good and evil.
Yeah, good and evil, but also like
temporary and forever.
right, like the fleeting nature of human power
Right.
versus like the eternal nature of God's justice.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it goes on to describe this person using some pretty vivid imagery.
Oh, yeah.
It says, "All day long you plot destruction. Your tongue cuts like a sharp razor. You're an expert at telling lies."
Wow.
It's interesting. Like they really go
Yeah.
in on this person's character.
Yeah, they're not holding back, are they?
No, they're not.
Like they're saying, look, this is who you are. You are a liar.
Right. You are destructive and you like it.
Yeah. And then it says you love evil more than good and lies more than truth.
So they're choosing,
Right.
They're actively choosing the bad stuff
Exactly.
over the good stuff.
And then it says you love to destroy others with your words, you liar.
Again, not holding back.
Right. It's like
Really driving it home.
calling him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's not even just about the lying. It's about like the intention behind the lying.
Right. The desire to cause harm
Yeah.
with your words.
Yeah.
And then the song kind of shifts gears a little bit.
Okay, where does it go?
And it starts talking about God's judgment.
Okay.
It says, God will strike you down once and for all.
Wow.
He will pull you from your home and uproot you from the land of the living.
Okay, so like there's no coming back from this.
Right. It's like this definitive statement
I think
of
it's judgment.
Yeah, judgment.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's talking about this person who seems so powerful.
Right. They seemed untouchable. Yeah. But it's like ultimately they're going to be held accountable.
Yeah.
And then it talks about how the righteous will see this and they'll be amazed.
Yeah.
And they'll laugh.
They'll laugh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And it says, "Look what happens to mighty warriors who do not trust in God. They trust in their wealth instead
Okay.
and grow more and more bold in their wickedness."
So it's like they think that they're safe.
Right. They think they can get away with it.
Because they have money and power.
Exactly.
But that's not how it works.
Right. And then the psalm kind of takes this turn.
Okay. Where does it go?
And it starts talking about the psalmist's own experience.
Okay.
And it says, "But as for me, I am like a flourishing olive tree planted in the house of God.
Okay.
I trust in God's unfailing love forever and ever."
So it's like they're presenting a different way
Right.
to live.
It's like a contrast
Yeah.
to the wicked person.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's interesting, the imagery of the olive tree.
Yeah. What's that about?
Yeah. So olive trees were like a symbol of prosperity and longevity.
Okay.
And they were also like really deeply rooted.
So it's like they're saying, I am firmly planted
Right.
in my faith.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the psalmist says, "I will praise you forever, O God, for what you have done. I will trust in your good name in the presence of your faithful people."
So it's like this public declaration of their faith.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, like we see this psalm, it's contrasting these two different ways of living.
Right. The wicked versus the faithful.
Yeah. The wicked way, which leads to destruction,
Yeah.
and the faithful way, which leads to flourishing.
Exactly. And the wicked way is characterized by boasting in lies and trusting in wealth and power.
Right.
Whereas the faithful way is characterized by trusting God and praising God.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really makes you think about like what do we put our trust in?
Yeah, good question.
Like in our own lives.
Yeah, where do we find our security?
Exactly. And how do our words impact others?
Hmm.
Are we using our words to build people up or to tear them down?
That's something to think about for sure.
Yeah, so that's Psalm 52.
That was great.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.